Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. I hope you enjoy, so let's get started.
This past week has found some different items, so let's take a look here. This is a F20 T12 fluorescent fixture by Lithonia. There it is. The same fixture, design and everything as this one up here. It's just the 2-foot version instead of the 4-foot version. Now this didn't come in a box. It came exactly as you see it here, with pretty much everything except for the little clip that would hold the cover on. But thankfully, because we could not use the clip for this fixture because the sockets are slightly too short and it has those end cap things on it, I do have a clip right here. So we're in luck. We got our solution to holding our cover on to the fixture here. But as you can see, it's preheat and it has our starter in there with an interesting starter socket. We have a universal ballast for 14, 15, and 20 watt bulbs. And we do have the end pieces here. So everything's here except for the little clip. I looked around to see if I could find it because, you know, this wasn't in a box and I couldn't find it. I think the fixture was $5. Let's see, did it say somewhere? Yeah, $5. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. It's getting harder to find things like this, and you can buy a new ballast at the hardware store for about $12. So, I mean, there's a deal in and of itself. The last thing are these two bulbs. This is a GE 250 watt Mercury vapor bulb. It has a heat shield in it there, but if we were to shine light through it, we would see that there is basically no use on that arc tube. So it's pretty much a new old stock bulb. This one is $3, and we have one last bulb in here. This one is a 175 watt GE. And we can see in down there, it looks pretty much new old stock as well. Neither of these had their packages. I didn't see them anywhere at the restore. But as you can see, that's a very clear arc tube. So I think we got some winners here for new old stock bulbs. This was $3 as well. Again, not too bad compared to, I believe, Lowe's and Home Depot still selling these for about $20 a piece. I don't know if Lowe's has them anymore. Last time I was there, I didn't see them, but Home Depot certainly still has the Fight electric version, and that one's about $20. So yeah, very decent finds here. Nothing too crazy, but I'm happy with it. Picked up this dual F20 T12 kitchen unit here a while back. As you've seen in previous videos, I had two of these that I restored last summer. This one I picked up at the second use building material place, and it needs a restoration as well. However, I'm thinking of just putting it out here in the garage. And I kind of like the patina that comes with certain things like this, where the other two I was going to install inside the house. I wanted them to be as pristine and nice looking as possible. Where this one, I can have a unique idea and some cool bulbs to put in it. So I think I'm going to kind of leave it the way it is for right now. It can always be restored in the future. But what that means is we need to make this usable. And obviously, well, it's usable. It's not broken or anything, but we should inspect the wiring, as it definitely needs some help. As you can see here, we have some wires that are not faring so well, and of course it just needs a general wipe down and cleanup. So we're going to go ahead and open this up and see what we find along the way in this wonderful Mitchell fluorescent unit. First impressions, this thing is built like a tank. These end caps are heavy as can be, and it is really hard to get this cover off. It's kind of snapped in between itself here, and I got it popped out already. I did notice that the socket is broken, but this is an older style one with some very strong metal contacts here, so I think we'll be fine just letting it be the way it is. We still have the back plate on it, so it's not going to touch anything. And it's out here again. It's not like in a dwelling where I want it to be perfectly perfect. Let's see what we got inside. Ooh, some very old ballasts and a lot of dirt. Gotta have dirt. Oh, some old GE ballasts. Look at that. GE. Same thing over here. I'm sure it has more information underneath, possibly. But they have little isolators there so it doesn't vibrate the fixture. Yeah, it really just needs a cleanup. I bet it'll look great once that's done. So there's a look at the inside. What's funny is that the cloth wiring is still in great shape. It is not cracking anywhere when I just move it like this. However, we have some just rubber wire here like you'd have for an extension cord or something, and it's just breaking everywhere. So it's amazing how well this old wire has held up and is still super flexible, and there's like no cracking going on when I bend it all funny. it's just amazing. You know, they made things to last back in the day. Now, you have to be cautious with some of this wiring too, because there are some out there that do not hold up like this, and you need to be very careful about it, because if it does bend too much, it can crack, and you will have a short, and you don't want that. So it's always good to test these wires, check them very thoroughly. They're not always going to be as nice as these. An up close look at one of the sockets here. It's also a GE. I'm sure the starter socket end is the same thing. You know, I haven't had any of these lights on in a while, and I really like the design of this one, so let's go ahead and turn it on. We haven't done this in a minute, so let's see a beautiful Mercury. Oh, beautiful, quiet, love it. There they are. Oh yes, there's beautiful Mercury vapor, lighting everything up nicely. So I got the fixture all wiped down, all the dust and stuff is gone. Of course, there's still some grease and grime. I do believe this was in some type of a kitchen environment with cooking utensils and things like that, you know, making a grease and all that kind of stuff, because there's some signs of it on here. Anyway, I took the little 4-inch adapter thing that I picked up a while back for this and tried to put a adapter in the socket, and then put this on to see if it would fit. And of course it doesn't with the plug. So what I'm going to do is just forget this thing altogether and wire a cord directly through to the light itself. The hole here is big enough, nice enough for a full grounded cord, which will be great for an older fixture like this to be grounded. And then we can just plug it right in. But the other nice thing about this is not having to have an electrical box for it. It'll be much easier to mount somewhere out here, wherever I put it. I haven't even decided yet. Another interesting note with this fixture is the fact that the ballasts are actually riveted down. They're not bolted on, they're riveted on. Interesting choice. While I was thinking about where in the world I want to put this thing, I'm thinking about how am I going to switch it, turn it on and off, enjoy it. Well, of course there's no switch on this fixture, there's no switch on the adapter there, and they do make these with switches on them, but I'm not really going to do that. So I was thinking, well, I could plug it into one of these switched outlet things that I have hanging around, but maybe I want it to be on its own thing and not be with another light. Maybe I want it to just be some type of ambiance because of the bulbs that I'm putting in it. So I was like, well, let's figure out how we want to do this. So I put the base on there to see how strong it'll be. It actually holds onto it pretty well. And then I thought, well, where do we want to put a switch? I think the perfect place is dead center in the middle of the cover here. That way it pulls directly where it's mounted. It's not going to make the fixture tilt or anything. And it seems to be the best place to put it in my mind. So anyway, that's what we got. Now, there's something interesting about this switch. As you can see here, there's not just 2 leads. This is a 1, 2, both switch. So we got, you know, one bulb, the other bulb, and then both together. I picked up a couple of them the other day for a project with these 2 wonderful industrial fluorescents here that are going to be restored to their original preheat glory here very shortly. And I thought these switches would be awesome for that. Have the outside bulbs, inside bulb, and then both, or, you know, inside, outside, and then both. Whatever it is, I'm not sure what lead does what, but we're going to learn here. So that's what we have. That's how I'm going to wire it up, and we'll continue on. Got our fancy switch all wired up. So we have ballast number 1, ballast number 2, and then both together when you get full brightness. So now we just got to put it all back together here, and we'll get it installed. Okay, moment of truth, here we go. There's one bulb. There's 2 bulbs. Should get 3. He was working on my meter earlier. Oh, now that one isn't turning on. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. Just a little connection issue with the bulbs. We got some old GE cool lights in here. I don't know where the etch is right now, but they're in here and they work well. So this is awesome. Ooh, the thing's quiet as heck. The hummy here in the background is the 175 watt Mercury vapor fixture. And of course you hear a chainsaw in the background probably. After looking around at all the possibilities, I thought about putting it here on this beam next to this one over here because then there's a switch, but we have a switch. Then I thought about having it over here next to this floodlight right there, but I settled on putting it right here to the other side up here. So it's all sturdy and good. Now we just need to put the light in its place. Okay, I got all the lights off. So let's see what we get. Here's number one. A cool white GE. What's waiting for us on number two? A blue. Yes, this is a blue F20 T12 fluorescent bulb. It even produces a little bit of UV to make some things glow. Even little filaments there on the old filament LED bulb. Very cool. Now I had two of these in this fixture over here, but I wanted to save one and put it somewhere and have it in its own way so you can turn it on all by itself. This is an awesome way to do that. And then of course you can have both on together if you so desire. For whatever reason, this bulb, or it's a starter for all I know. Yeah, it just takes a second. But I'm thinking of putting this on its own circuit, separate from the switch that does all the lights in the garage. I'm thinking of doing the same thing with the big light here, because then I can isolate it. When I'm doing videos, I just have the two lights for the videos, and none of the other ones are potentially interfering, which would be great. And this one, if I want to come out here and I just want some white light here in the garage, just something simple, I usually turn on that corner light for that, but this would be cool to have its own little thing. And then you can enjoy the blue if you so desire. You got the blue option. This was a fun project. So I had this fixture, or this socket rather, in this fixture over here. As you may have seen in a previous video, we put a different socket in it, but that socket was kind of a little bit too deep, as you can see, and it didn't really sit as we wanted. However, with taking this socket out of the housing for this fixture here, I decided to measure it up compared to the old one, because I still have it, and this is a perfect match. It will fit in here a lot better than this thing. So we're going to go ahead and remove this socket that I put in and put in this one, and I think it'll be a much better match. There, that's how it should have been the whole time. The one bulb lights up the area quite nicely. I've debated what I wanted to do with this fixture for quite some time. This was a very generous donation from another local lighting collector, and I'm sure you've seen it once or twice here on the channel before, just talking about it. But it has come time for me to want to do something with it, and I've spent some time thinking about what exactly I want to do with this very unique fixture. So, this is a day bright 4-lamp F40 T12 preheat fluorescent fixture. Preheat, that's the cool part about it. The other unique part, as you can see, is that this fixture has kind of a different design to it. It's not really a half piper, it's kind of like a half piper, but it's got a flat middle and then two bulbs on the sides, and that's because it used to have a grate on top of it. I believe, from what I was informed, some type of, you know, square honeycomb type grate thing with sides on it, and of course there would be some type of a fancy end on it here to cap it off. So it was quite done up back in the day when it was all brand new. But of course, over time, things get lost and missing or break or whatever, and they're just no longer with the fixture anymore. The other thing is that it was obviously repainted at some point. It's not the original white or off-white ivory color paint that it may have had. It now has kind of this metally, gray to it. But it's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'd want this repainted to its original kind of white or off-white or whatever it may have had based on the color that's still on the inside. But a couple problems there is that once you put all that time and effort into stripping off this paint and putting on the new paint, you're still missing the end caps and the grate that would be on top of it to really complete the look. So, if we take a look inside, we will find what truly makes this fixture special. And it's these absolutely amazing Jefferson F40 T12 dual lamp preheat fluorescent ballasts. These things are massive. They're like the size of an F-can mercury vapor or high pressure sodium ballast, just a little shorter, but they're massive. And here's the other one. Both of them still have the stickers on them, at least most of the sticker, but the interesting part is that you can see underneath it has the same stamping on it. So it's like they stamped the ballast and then put a sticker on top of it. Very interesting. So, with that being said about these ballasts inside, these are the most impressive amazing part of this fixture. And as you can see, there's some other things inside that need to be done too. These holes here are a little bit banged up. They'd have to be reshaped back into shape. There's definitely some little rust going on, but that's not the biggest deal. But unfortunately, I don't feel like it's worth it to put the restoration into this fixture body. However, I have some really cool ideas as to what to do with these amazing ballasts. And where do I have this idea of they're going to go? So, these two amazing dual lamp ballasts are going to go into these preheat fluorescent shop lights. These are awesome. I got them a while back, as you may have seen on another video, but they never had the preheat ballasts in them when I acquired them. They had instant start F32T8 ballasts in them, and then I made them LED like this. There's this one right here. It's a little bit of a unique design. And then there's this one, this Miller, I believe it's a Miller unit, and it still has the starter sockets and everything. It's just begging to have something epic like these ballasts put inside of it. Now obviously these are 3 lamp fixtures, and these are just 2 lamp ballasts. Well, that's okay. We can use this ballast to power the outside lamps, and I'll acquire, I have some back home, some single lamp ballasts to use for the center bulb. But I think this would be epic to use these amazing ballasts in these fixtures and then have a fixture. Both of these are in amazing condition. They're not bad at all. They still have the starter sockets and everything, and these are built like a tank, just like this fixture is. But the thing is that the amount of time it would take to restore this and then still having the missing parts on it, and unfortunately just doesn't seem worth it to me. But the components inside are worth their weight in gold. They are amazing, and that's why I want to use them in amazing fixtures like these. So I'm gonna get this all done up so that we can turn it on a couple times and make a video on this amazing fixture before it donates its organs to some other pretty cool fixtures.
I really do hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Leave a like down below and a comment. I do enjoy reading all of your comments. Of course, check out the other videos here on the screen. And until next time, thank you very much for watching.